All week, we're taking you back in time as KPHO celebrates 75 years of television history in Phoenix.
Pretty impressive, right? Today, we're comparing the then and now of reporting the news behind the scenes, in the field, and on the air for viewers at home. Here's Nicole Kreitz.
A lot has changed. It's a whole different world.
John Kraft knows TV news is an ever-evolving medium. He spent 49 years teaching at ASU's Cronkite School of Journalism.
Film was used a lot in early days of television.
Salvaging relics retired from Valley newsrooms like this 16mm film camera, he helped curate an impressive gallery for the House of Broadcasting Museum and even wrote a book about the history of Phoenix television.
Good evening, everybody. Leading the news tonight, it's Washington all the way.
KPHO was the first station to hit the local airwaves December 4th, 1949.
There were very few TV sets in the city at that time also, and only one TV station. But then it exploded. You have anything you want to see when you want to see it.
Before apps streaming on-demand content 24/7 to your phone, people planned their nights around must-see TV programming.
Where you had a whole lineup of programs. It was appointment TV. I'm going to be home on Thursday night to watch this, and this.
And I would have people say, oh, I get to go to bed with you every night, or I have dinner with you every night. And
Mary Jo West was the first female news anchor in Phoenix in 1976.
The nicest phone call that came in the night I debuted said, tell that blonde-headed tomato to go straight home and cook supper for her husband. Signed, a lady from Sun City.
She says one of the biggest differences now, technology that's replaced staff behind the scenes, floor directors, camera operators, audio and graphics specialists.
Today, if you go into a studio, you will see a lot of automated cameras, robot cameras. I'm not even sure what the correct term is.
The other huge change, field crews not having to lug around so much heavy equipment.
They carried around just all this weight on their shoulders and their backs.
This is a 3/4 inch deck.
That bulky recorder had to be tethered to a control unit, a power supply, and the camera itself, unless the photographer wore a belt weighed down with more than half a dozen 3-pound batteries.
Just to record a single story?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Heavy.
It's a heavy lift.
Heavy lift.
Efficiency and time improved with innovation. Editing stories used to take several hours, developing film, cutting and gluing it back together again before graduating to giant decks like this.
No fancy dissolves, cut only stuff. Life is so much easier. And then you would see somebody running frantically from the editing room up to the engineering area where they could put the videotape on the air as the anchor person was talking about the lead-in to that particular story.
There's a hilarious picture in your book from 1960. That doesn't seem that long ago. And what was going on with weather back in the day?
You had a map, and you could take a magic marker, a eraser type magic marker, and mark the temperatures on the map and then erase it for the next day. Or you could have little tiny cardboard cutouts of clouds with a magnet on the back that you could stick up. It's a little more sophisticated now.
In the 1980s, we started using helicopters. Now, we also have drones.
You're watching CBS 5 News.
The industry's shift from analog to digital in 2009 improved quality and again accelerated efficiency.
We can carry a TV station in our pocket.
That's right, you don't need trucks this big anymore. Our field crews can go live with a cell phone and a backpack, no cables, using wireless microphones. And the smallest field cameras are this size now, recording on an SD card the size of a stamp.
Rapid innovation catapulting us into the future, which seems so far-fetched with the first artificial news anchor, Max Headroom, from 1985. Many of John's students couldn't fathom the emerging AI news we're seeing gain ground in other countries.
Now, how can that be?
Now it's about teaching the next generation journalist and newsroom to dream ever bigger, anticipating demands for content, access, and new mediums that don't exist yet.
What is the future going to be? And what will your role be in developing that future?
Gosh. goodness, so many changes over the years. And John said this was really interesting. He even remembers when prompters and our studio cameras, right, used to have be a roll of paper below the lens. It was paper.
Yeah. Well, when I started, I would tape the pieces of paper together and put them on a conveyor belt, and then I had a foot pedal. That's when I learned to race.
Yeah, and then sometimes the paper would jam, and then you're like,
we are sounding so old.
Yeah, we are.
I met Mary Jo West for the first time last week, and I said, oh my gosh, you're a legend. And she said, you're April, and I'm so proud of you. And then I started crying, and this is at the snack bar of my son's basketball game, because he's on a team with her grandson. And the kids are like, what's happening over there with these two news ladies crying in the corner? But just amazing to hear from her.
Well, and she was so generous. She was a mentor to me. All those years ago.
Fantastic lady, no doubt. By the way, the House of Broadcasting is going to set up a new display so you can go in there and you can learn how to do that.
Yeah, and that's going to be at the Chandler Museum next year. So
you can be
looking forward to that. He's part of the museum. All right. Our time right now is